Hi
Hi
everyone.
everyone. My name is Anjali and I am a student of Webster pursuing currently my master's in marketing in analytics.
And my name is Ange-Maeva, a student at Webster University too, pursuing a master's in marketing with emphasis in digital marketing.
And we are here to give you a demonstrating expertise in marketing analytics through a social media video. Welcome to this presentation on sentiment analytics and marketing. We are going to deep dive into that analysis. Today, we are driving into how marketers use data and natural languages processing to understand what customers really feel at scale. We are explore that sentiment analysis actually is, how it works, where marketers are using it across their campaigns, and how intelligent tools driven by AI throughout the world are shifting towards the brand connected with their audience. We will also review an example of how sentiment analysis help with the product feedback and end with practical guidance, limitations to watch for, and how to get started using sentiment data yourself.
Let's start with the basics. What is sentiment analysis? Sentiment analysis is a natural language processing method that classifies emotions in text. That means rating a review as positive or negative, detecting disappointment in a tweet or in a post, or scoring how a customer feels about a product launch. This matters a lot because customer feedback today is constant and overwhelmingly textual. We're flooded with reviews through social media posts, chat messages, surveys, and comments. Rather than reading thousands of comments and messages manually, sentiment analysis uses algorithms that help us detect the emotions of users of our product through them. Some models just output positive, neutral, or negative. Others go deeper into identifying emotions like anger, satisfaction, or trust. The academic definition, based on Hare, Harrison, and Adjan's framework, is the process of analyzing natural language to classify the polarity and emotional tone of textual feedback provided by customers or public. We're turning words into structure, emotions into numbers.
So, coming back to traditional analytics and what happens, how does sentiment analytics and why does all of this happens? So, the important thing for marketers is so why it is important in real world marketing and not just in textbook. Lets brand move beyond counting likes or share to truly listen to customers' voice in real time. And there are four critical reasons marketers lean on sentiment analytics. First, it is scalable. A human team cannot read half of a million tweets, but sentiment analysis can score and classify them in minutes. Second, it's proactive. When sentiment tanks after a campaign launch, analytics gives the early warning even before the scales drop. Third, the customer insights, which is very important towards a brand. We don't just see what went wrong, we learn why. That's the key to improving future messaging through all the brands, to all the networking and engaging to the future messaging services or product features. Last, competitive strategy. How do we use that for sentimental analytics? You can benchmark how your customers feel compared to how they feel about your competitors. There's always a good and bad in the mind of a customer. This is why Gardner and McKinsey have both included sentiment analysis as a prior capability in modern marketing stacks.
Now, we will study the sentiment analytics process. The sentiment analysis process goes in five different steps. These steps being data collection, text pre-processing, sentiment extraction, aggregation and visualization, and finally, the last and most important step, decision making. The sentiment, and we have a real life example that we will use to illustrate a sentiment analysis. We will be studying, at least studying, the example of a cosmetic brand called Angie Cosmetics. The launch date. When the company wants to launch a new product, it tends to study and collect data from various social media platforms to understand what it is that the customers need and how they will use all the information gathered to launch their own product in a way that will be attractive to the customers and make them engage with this product. The next step is data collection. For this brand, we have decided that we will be collecting data through TikTok, and we will look through 4,000 TikTok videos and read through the comments of these videos and study the customer sentiment a week prior to the launching of this new product, so we can fix some of the decisions we had made prior to the launch, so it's best adapted to the customers at the particular time that we will be launching our product. The next step will be studying and analyzing the sentiment analysis. Once this analysis was done, it revealed that 62% of the consumers, at least those we studied, had a positive sentiment towards the product that we would be launching. 28 felt neutral; they neither had a good or a bad opinion towards it, and 10% were virtually against or had a negative feeling about it. And this enabled us to highlight how the customers felt when it came to this new product. Now, we also use this analysis to identify through the comments and what was written what customers felt was wrong with our brand, the way we work, and with this new product we would be launching. This analysis enabled us to understand that customers had an issue with our shipping times and techniques. So we used all the information gathered to find a solution to the shipping issues that we had with our customers to clarify delivery times for them. And once these decisions were taken and the price was fixed, we noticed that the amount of negative feedback we got was reduced. Finally, we need to understand that every single step in the sentiment analysis is important in one way or the other and enables us to have a better understanding of what our customers expect of us, our product, and our brand.
Okay, so coming back to the best practice that we learned from the last product that we have launched or effective sentiment analytics. First, let's anchor this more firmly into the academic guidelines. Okay, so the best practices that we have been taught in the classes are, to blend quantitative and qualitative together, to use the multi-source feedback, loop in business stakeholders, evolve your dictionary and modules, or like handle the sarcasm or irony carefully. Okay, but how do we do this? How do we practice this best in the real life scenario? Because successful sentiment. So coming back to the best practice that we can offer is always supplement AI result with human review or sample data to verify tone and context. Okay, we don't rely solely on Twitter, add in surveys, call logs, review sites, and Reddit threads. This helps to get the analysis much better into this social media after COVID world. Again, there's something which the business stakeholders which we follow or do. That is, analytics is only as good as the action it enables. Work with operations, product teams, and CX leader to connect insight with impact. The language changes. The product always have something or the else to give. But what? We interact. Joy last year might be neutral slang this year. Review your World Banks regularly and retain model when needed. Last but not the least, classics sentiment models struggle here, and we can use deep learning models which will help to have a better role into it.
We will now be diving into how AI enhances sentiment analysis. Since artificial intelligence has expanded what sentiment analysis can do, whereas traditional models relying on pre-tagged words, AI models learn how people express emotion over time, improve through feedback loops, handle multi language data, detect mixed sentiment with a single paragraph. For instance, a transformer model like BERT can consider full sentence structure and context, not just individual words. Imagine someone says, "Great, my delivery was late again." A basic model will just score the word great as positive, but advanced NLP would understand the sarcasm and the context. Some enterprises platforms like Monkey Learn and IBM Watson NLU now offer pre-trained sentiment models that include emotion classification, urgency detection, and topic tagging all in one pipeline. But always remember, AI is a tool. Human guidance shapes the questions we ask, validates the answers, and turn data into decisions.
Okay, coming back to the human oversight, which just was mentioned. We cannot always rely on the AI. So, what are the recommendations that we bring to the table? First, enhancing visual variety, emphasis interactiveness, add brief tool demonstration. It's an optional, but it's impactful. Whether it be Python or it can be a Google Sheet add-on. Supplement with real world uses cases that can help. For example, Nike tracked online sentimental after a conversation ad featuring Colin in 2018. Through polarizing at first, long term sentiments trends align with stronger brand loyalty among core customers. So, what are the connections that we want the team to learn from this? It's the shape the campaign's narrative, prioritize feature updates, benchmark brand health, and comprehensive customer insight. This will help the strategic use and impacts it better. Ethics. In what way can the ethics and accountability that we can give it out?
When it comes to ethics and accountability, uh, sentiment analysis do use human speech, but also written speech, and ethically this can sound critically biased or they need some kind of review. Some of the major points that ethics and accountability come in with is data privacy. It's scraped to store public data only if users have given their consent. Bias and representation. Highly vocal users don't represent an entire consumer base. False positives. Even the best models can misread sarcasm or irony. Over reliance rather, excuse me. Sentiment scores are directional, not definitive. They inform decisions and they shouldn't replace human instincts or brand values. As analytics professionals, we have the responsibility to use these tools transparently and wisely.
Okay, to conclude our thoughts or the closing thoughts that we have on the sentiment analytics that we have learned from this course is beyond transaction, beyond clicks, give marketers a powerful lens into how customers truly genuinely feel. Through structured analysis of unstructured data like social media posts, reviews, and survey responses, we can detect patterns in customer emotion that inform our decision in real time. Whether you're launching a campaign, managing brand reputation, or improving customer experience. Sentiment insights enhance your ability to respond by empathy and precision. So, by us, we want to follow the academic best practices that we have learned from this course using AI responsibility and not copying and blending human judgment with machine learning. So, thank you so much for hearing us our thoughts out for marketing analytics.
And we are also grateful for the opportunity we had at Webster to learn more about data analytic techniques. We would like you to share, comment, and subscribe and give us our thoughts on this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.